fiction lovers. Welcome to week 2 of my summer TBR reboot. I don't really know what I'm going to be calling these vlogs, but they're just going to be fun little reading vlogs. I literally just ended last week's vlog, but it's been a week. It should have been a week since that one came out. So we're back. If you're new here, this summer I am doing one mood read pick every week and one TBR spinner wheel pick every week. And this week, let me go grab the book that's my mood read. Just kidding, it's in the other room and I don't want to go get it. This week for my mood read, I will be doing another buddy read. Just so happened to work out that I had 2 buddy reads back to back. But this time I will be reading In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer with Tiffany over at Tiff and the Word. I love her channel. She talks about all the books that she reads from a Christian worldview, and she also does little faith chats and fun vlogs. And yeah, we connected recently over more than just our comment sections, and we're like, hey, let's buddy read this together, because we both read the first book like last month or something. So anyway, so excited to do that, and I just started that one today, and so far I'm intrigued. But we all know what we're here for, at least what I'm here for, is the TBR spinner wheel, which it would be helpful if I had already had it pulled up. Okay, we have the wheel once again. Are we ready? We're gonna find out what my book is gonna be. Oh, we pressed it. I feel like y'all should see my face. What's it say? That is hilarious. I literally was like, what if I get one of the ones that I've already read? Okay, well, it showed, I don't know if y'all can see, it landed on The Lost Story of Gabrielle, but I read that last week. So we're going to remove that from the spinner wheel. And In This Moment is also on this wheel, but we'll remove that if it lands on it. Okay, take 2. Okay, I can't see it. Love Amid the Ashes. Okay. This book I've wanted to read for a long time. This is Love Amid the Ashes by Mesu. It is a biblical fiction about Job's wife. I happen to really appreciate, maybe enjoy is not the right word, but really appreciate and connect with the book of Job in the Bible. So I actually found this book in a thrift store a couple years ago, and I read the back and I was like, that sounds really good, but I didn't buy it at the time, but I've kind of had it in the back of my mind ever since, and then I have recently purchased it. I'm excited to read this. Definitely not what I was thinking, but that's the whole point of this. Okay, I'll let y'all know more thoughts later. Good morning. I have made progress in both of these books, so let's talk about it. In This Moment, I have read through chapter 12. That made it sound like In This Moment I had read through chapter 12, but that's what the book is called. In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer. Read through chapter 12. I feel like I've gotten a pretty good handle on each timeline. So basically this is the second book in the Timeless series, so there might be some minor spoilers from the first book, just because this book follows Margaret, the daughter of, what was her name in the first book? I can't remember, but she's the daughter of the main character from the first book. And so in one of her timelines, she's, obviously she has those parents. 3 timelines, because for various reasons that I won't say, because also spoilers, but those 3 timelines are 1861, 1941, and 2001. So in 1861, her father is a senator in Washington, D.C., and obviously they're on the side of like pro-freedom. They're friends with the Lincolns. It's very interesting, but her father has also kind of dropped some hints that there might be some spies in the Capitol, and so in that timeline she goes by Margaret. Margaret is like trying to kind of figure it out, but also she's met a gentleman who she may or may not have some, she might be attracted to, might have some feelings for, but also like, is he giving spy vibes, you know? And then in 1941, she is a nurse in the Navy, and she is working under a doctor who is very like exacting and expects a lot from his nurses, but she is very like spot on, like she anticipates what he needs and has a lot of medical knowledge because she's also a medical student in 2001, so she just like knows things, but she has to do her best to kind of not let on, like not let on, that's not the right word, not like share information that isn't readily available in 1941. But anyway, so there's kind of a little bit, she's helping him learn some medical stuff about he's experiencing some health issues, and so she's kind of sharing some things that she's learned with him, and he's like warming up to her a little, and that's really interesting. And then in 2001, I think 2001 is probably my favorite timeline so far. But in 2001, she is a medical student, and she also lives near Washington, D.C. She lives near DC in all the timelines now, and so that's a really interesting, like, as she goes between the different ones, she's like, oh, in 1861, like, I guess not, I remember because she's living it at that time, she's like, in 1861 it was so different here, the White House was different this way, and that's really cool. That's a fun tie-in. The first book, it didn't really have that. They were in different places entirely. But anyway, 2001, she's a med student, and she has met is he also a senator? He might be a senator. He's like the youngest senator elected into the whatever, Congress? The Senate? No, the Senate. One of the two. Anyway, moving on. So she's kind of getting to know him, and there are sparks flying between the two of them, like flying, and she has to be like, whoa, pump the brakes, like, I'm not dating, because her thing is she's not going to date until she's decided which timeline she stays in, and she has like 6 months left to decide, and she has no idea what she's going to choose. Anyway, I took literally forever to explain this book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than the first one. It's really good. Tiffany is also enjoying it, so it's fun to talk with her about it. But yes, that is that book. I feel like I made a mess of explaining it, but second book I'm reading, Love Amid the Ashes by Mesu Andrews. So I think I kind of got it wrong when I first got this book on the wheel. It's mostly following Dinah, who right now Job has selected her to marry his son. And then we've had like a couple of scenes from Job's perspective, and then we also have a couple of scenes from Job's wife's perspective. And I do not like his wife. Like, we've had 2 scenes from her perspective. I do not like her. She's already like worshiping idols. She's like emotionally kind of cheating on her husband. She's setting one of her daughters is about to get married, and she's like trying to get her daughter to also worship like fertility idols. And I'm just like, I don't like it. It's very like icky, and I'm not a fan. And I'm not really sure how Dinah is going to play into all of it, because also she's had some very interesting interactions with Job. Like, the first interaction Job and Dinah have is she had a nightmare, and in her tent where she's sleeping, and Job like comes into her tent and wakes her up and basically like holds her, almost like gives her a hug and is like, it's okay, you're okay. And it just was really, I don't know, it was really weird to me, because I was like, Job is already married and like fully committed to his wife. Like, it comes out a little bit later that he's vowed he won't marry a second wife because he's like committed to his first wife, even though she's kind of not a great person. So I'm like, you don't even know Dinah, why are you like going into her tent that's like private? I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. But since then, he's had a lot of good conversations with her about God, and she's kind of like growing a little baby faith, which I love. So we'll see. I'm not disliking it, but I'm not like liking it a lot. It's kind of, we'll see what happens. I'm not as far into this one. I am 5 chapters in, 85 pages. So yeah, we'll see what the vibes are, because right now the vibes are a little uncomfy, but I need to go to work now. I've yapped about these books much longer than I anticipated, but I will go to work, I'll read some more, and then I'll fill you in later. Just got home from work and I was gonna watch some YouTube, but low-key, like, it's a rainy day outside and I'm just in the mood to read. Like, I just want to sit around and read, so that's what we're gonna do. I have a little post-work snack, and yeah, but before we do that, I wanted to update because these books, well, specifically in this moment, I'm in love with it. It's so good and I'm so hooked on it. Basically, like, so much stuff is happening in all 3 timelines, and each chapter is like so much is happening. And what I really love about this book that's different from the first one is I feel like there's actually a plot in each timeline, which is something that was a gripe I had with the first book. I said it was not enough plot, too much inner dialogue talking about her, how much she disliked one timeline and being a time crosser. This one, Margaret actually recognizes her ability to time cross as a gift from God, and she sees it, like, she gets frustrated with it at points for sure, but she also sees it as something that God has given to her, and it's a gift. And until she turns 21, she has the ability to provide healing for multiple people, since she has this deep interest in medical knowledge and nursing and healing and all of that stuff. I'd say it took me about 2 chapters from each timeline to get fully invested into the stories, the story at large, but also the stories in each one. But now, like, we're multiple chapters through each timeline, and I just love it. Big things are happening in all the timelines, and she's like put herself in danger. She put one timeline in jeopardy of being able to go back. It was crazy. What I really love, and I think I mentioned this morning when I talked about it, is I'm loving the identity struggle, because while yes, like, it's talked about in the book of, like, technically she's lived almost 63 years because she's lived each day like 3 times, she's still mentally like 20 years old. And when you're 20, like, I'm in my 20s, like, when you're 20 and in your 20s, you're going through like identity exploration. Like, psychologically, you go through a lot of it in high school, but like, considering that this 21st birthday is like her moment where she has to decide like who she is, where she's going to spend the rest of her life, like, it makes sense that she's having these identity struggles, and just like the psychological stuff that's coming out and the advice from her friends and her family in different timelines. Oh, it's so good. Like I really love it, and it's just like nurturing a part of my brain of like, yes, this is being explored so well. I wanted this to be explored in the first book. I didn't like in the first book that Libby, I believe her name was Libby, I didn't like that Libby hated one timeline and loved the other. Like it just, I was like, no, give me a story that's like, I don't know, I truly don't know, and I got it in Miss Margaret, and I love it so much. So the other book, Love Amid the Ashes, still not the biggest fan of. I'm still not the biggest fan of, but it's just too many perspectives right now. Like I prefer my books to be very like clean cut. Chapter 1 is from person 1's perspective, chapter 2 is from person 2's perspective, and so on and so forth. I don't like the switching up mid chapter. I don't like it when it's like switching up and you kind of, it takes you like 2 paragraphs to figure out whose scene it, whose perspective is this scene from. Like that just annoys me a little bit, and I know it's like a different style of writing, but so far we've made it to the part of Job where he's just received word that literally every livestock he owns, his children, his servants, everything, are dead, and it's horrible. It's horrible because the way the book is set is he learns this after coming back from a long journey, like a month-long journey away from his home, and he comes back and these messengers are coming right after he's had a like pretty rough confrontation with his wife, who's also like, who is this woman that you've brought back for our son to marry? And it's just not, like, it's sad. It's really sad and heartbreaking, and like the grief, I felt it. I like felt the grief when I was reading it, but I'm just not super invested. I wish it was just all from Dinah's perspective, honestly. Like, I don't really care what Job thinks. Like I do, but I also don't. He's just so, and I know this is biblically accurate, he's just so like pious, and but like in a good way, and holy and righteous, which is like the whole point of Job and why he was chosen to suffer this. But I'm just like, it almost feels fake to read from his perspective. And then his wife, Sidus, that's how I'm saying her name. Like, she doesn't have a name in the Bible, but that's her name in the book. She's just awful. I don't like her at all. And Dinah, she's okay. She's all right, but really the only redeeming thing about her is that she has a servant, Nogala, who I really like. She's like probably 15 years old, and she's just serving Dinah so faithfully and so beautifully, and keeps like encouraging Dinah and is like, I'm right by your side, mistress. Like, I'm here for you, because Dinah has been through some things, and I love that relationship. That's probably one of the very few redeeming things about it so far. Everything else I'm just kind of like not a huge fan, I'd say right now. Well, I don't want to, it's too early on in the book to get into star ratings, but anyway, despite that, I am going to continue reading it today. So let's jump into that, and maybe it'll continue to redeem itself. Friday. It's been probably 2 days since I've talked to you, but I've definitely read some more, and I've just had a really slow morning today, which has been awesome. Since it's like summer and we're just in our like summer camp like work hours at the school I work at, I asked for Fridays off over the summer, and it seems like for the most part they're giving me Fridays off, which is really nice. So I just had a really slow morning. I went to the pool and I just kind of like suntanned and read for a little bit, and then I like actually got a swim in. I was a competitive swimmer for like 6 years when I was growing up, and I really loved it, and I've kind of gotten back into it within the last like year and a half, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So hence why my hair is wet, because I had to wash the chlorine out. But anyway, done a lot of reading, and it's crazy how different the books I'm reading are, but it's helpful that they're so different, because it's like I'm not getting confused. Whereas last week when I was reading The Lost Story of Gabrielle and All She Ever Wanted, I wasn't getting confused between them, but there were a couple things where I was like, okay, this is in this book and this is in this book. Like I had to very clearly in my brain be like that. This week, not so much. Like biblical fiction, very different from the historical time crossing. So let's go ahead and talk about the books. That's what we're here for. In this moment, I'm obsessed. I love this book so much. I am currently 27 chapters through it. I have 3 chapters left that I need to read today, because we're reading 6 chapters every day. And wow. There were some shocking things. And what I really love about this is that all the like notes and I guess criticisms, one could say, that I had for book 1 in this series got fixed in this. And there are things being explored in this book that I so badly wanted to be explored in the first book. It feels like between the publishing of the first book and the second book, she got some feedback of some just like general opinions of like, this worked, this didn't work, this resonated, this didn't hit home. And she was like, okay, let me take all of this and just like make truly the best time crossing book situation plots ever. And like, I don't know if I can really say that because I haven't read a lot of time crossing, time travel stuff. It's not a genre I venture into really at all, but I truly do feel like she took the time to make this second book just be miles and miles better than the first one. And like, I liked the first one, I did, but I am like thoroughly enjoying this book, and I low-key think it might be 5 stars. It is so good. And just all of the conversations about identity and who she truly is and her trust in God, and just she has such a real and raw relationship with God that I love so much. And she's just like questioning God, like she goes back and forth between like, I know this is a gift that you've given me, to also being like, I don't understand why this is my life, and I just want you to choose which path I'm supposed to be on. And yeah, I love it. I love it so much. It's so great. I can't say too much about what's going on. So I guess basically kind of the gist I've already explained a little bit, but like she gains 3 different love interests, 1 in each timeline, and she kind of is figuring out like, do I explore this? Do I not? How do I decide? Should I factor these men into my decision of which timeline? And oh, it's so good. It's so good. And what's crazy to me is the one timeline at the beginning, I don't know if I shared which one I didn't like, but the one timeline at the beginning that I didn't like has become my favorite now. Like, I am obsessed with it, and I need her to pick it. I just love it. Like, I think whichever one she picks will be good, but this specific one is so good. So those are my thoughts on In This Moment. I'm loving it. I'm loving the buddy read with Tiffany. That's been so fun. We both are equally enjoying it, so that's been great. Thoughts on Love Amid the Ashes. I am also quite a fair amount through this. It's gotten a little better. It's still not like, it's not my favorite. I think I want to do a whole video on biblical fiction and just kind of do my own version of like a TED Talk on biblical fiction, because I've just had so many thoughts on it the last couple of months. Sometimes I think biblical fiction just does too much, and this book is an example of that, in which it's like trying to portray the good versus evil in the Bible, but some of it is like just wildly inappropriate, and I don't like it. Like I've said a couple of times now, too many perspectives, way too many perspectives. Like, I think it's almost a little bit of a cop-out to have so many perspectives, because it's like, if you can't accurately tell me the story, if you can't convey the plot and the plot momentum from one or two perspectives, and you have to dip your toes into, like, I think we're at like 5 or 6 different perspectives now, then you're not telling your story well. And you need to be able to do it. Also, us as the reader, we don't have to know everything. Keeping us in the dark about some things until the right time, like if you want us to be invested, specifically in this story, if you want us to be invested with Dinah and Sidus, we need to stay in the dark about some things. We don't need to know everything, because then it's like yes, we're kind of like, oh, like what happens when they find out? It just becomes really confusing, and I'm confused about some of the plot of like where this is going, what's going to happen. But it's also like there's no suspense, there's no like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, because I already know what's coming. I already know the double crossing. Like there's no surprise. So I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it. I'm not even liking it, but I'm going to finish it. It's not bad enough for me to DNF. I just have a lot of like criticisms on it, clearly. No hate if you do like that book or like things. I've read other things by Mesu Andrews that I have liked, but yeah, that was my little rant on that. Anyway, I'm going to continue reading in this moment, and then later, Love Amid the Ashes. Happy Saturday. I finished In This Moment this morning, and I loved it. Who's surprised? I was loving it like the whole entire time, but genuinely so amazing, so good. Exceeded all of my expectations for it, truly. Like I just was not anticipating to love it that much. Like I was expecting to enjoy it because the premise is good. Like I enjoyed the first book. I didn't love the first book. Like I think I've been pretty upfront about that. Like I didn't love the first book, but I did like it enough to be like, let me continue in the series. And I was kind of like, I'll give this book or this series like 3, unless I really hated the second one. I was like, I'll give this series 3 books before I'm like, no, I don't like it. I will be continuing and probably reading the entire series, because this book, In This Moment, so good. 5-star read, maybe a favorite of the year. We'll kind of see how things are stacking up, but definitely a 5-star, and I'm so happy about it. 2 5 stars in a row, like in, not technically, but like 1 5-star last week, 1 5-star this week. There we go. Both of them are buddy reads. I think that definitely heightened the experience for me. I don't know if I would have loved it as much if I hadn't been talking about it with Tiffany, but like genuinely I loved it. Like so good. Yeah, and I just love how she continued to unpack the whole time crossing world, and I can't wait to see what she does in the next book. I like, right after I finished it, I went and like added it on Goodreads like as 5 stars. And then I went and looked at the 3rd book and like read the description, and I want to read it. I want to read it. It's already in my Amazon cart. I just need to buy it, basically. So anticipate that one coming soon-ish. But anyway, yeah. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Haven't finished Love Amid the Ashes yet. I have it here in front of me. I have like 4 chapters left, about 50 pages, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this one's testing my patience in so many ways. I want to give up, but I'm so close. I can't give up. We're sitting at a 2.5 star right now, and let's just say it's barely a 2.5 star. It was a 3 star for a while, and then I was like, no, because that would be doing a disservice to some of the other books that I've rated 3 stars that I have actually liked. I'm not even liking this book right now, and I'm really disappointed because like I had such high hopes for it. It's been on my TBR for so long, but I can finally get it off. Yeah, I was trying to like binge it yesterday to like get some more chapters done, and literally like I would read a chapter and then I would like let myself have a break. Like I would scroll on my phone for a couple minutes because I was like, I cannot just read this book chapter by chapter by chapter. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm about to go to a coffee shop with my mom, and we're gonna do some wedding planning, so that'll put me in a good mood. And yeah, I have a fun day planned, so don't know how much reading I'll get done, but I definitely will finish it this weekend. And thank God, I'm literally already in my brain like, what book can I read next? Because I'm so checked out. I'm so checked out of this book. And I feel bad for saying that, but it's okay. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all, we did it. We finished Love Amid the Ashes. That last 50 pages was a struggle. I literally just did not care at all, and I was just like, I just gotta do it. I can't DNF with like 50 pages left. That's crazy. Oh man, I'm tired and I gotta go to bed, but I wanted to finish this book and just be done so I can move on to next week. I have so many thoughts on this book. I hated the ending. I really hated how it ended. I'm not a fan of a lot of the choices and the creative creative liberties. Yeah. That it took. I just wasn't a fan. I don't think it was a good book. I mean, clearly. I feel like that point has been conveyed enough by everything I've said about it. But, yeah, I don't recommend this book. I also learned by reading, like, the review on maybe the back of it, or maybe one at the front. I don't know. But this was her debut novel. Like, it wasn't horrible writing for being a debut novel. I honestly, a lot of the times, I think debut novels are sometimes better than, like, other books. I'm so tired. I'm literally not making sense, but I think you know what I'm saying. Like, I think authors oftentimes, like, will put their, like, best foot forward with a debut novel because that work has to, like, prove itself that it's worth being published. And then once they know that they're good enough to be published, sometimes they, like, take their foot off the gas a little bit with, like, how good it is. That's probably a bad analogy to describe it. Anyway, I don't know, like, where I'm going with this, but I didn't feel like this book, I feel like this book should have gone through, like 3 more rounds of revisions and, like, let's really sit and think about this. Let's really sit and think if this is how we want to tell this story. And it didn't get that. I am going to unhaul this book. I'm either going to give it 2 or 2.5 stars. I haven't decided yet. But I did not enjoy this book. I really didn't. We started off okay, and then we just like, whew, took a nosedive. Anyway, let me know if you have read either of the books that I read in this video. yeah, the first book was In This Moment by Gabrielle Myers, and then obviously the second book, Love Amid the Ashes by Mesu Andrews. And if we have different opinions, you know, if you didn't like the first In This Moment and I loved it, or if you liked Love Amid the Ashes and I didn't like it, I'd be interested to hear differing opinions in the comments. We can still be friends even if we don't have the same opinion. Anyway, I have got to go to bed, but thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like, and if you want to continue watching my little summer TBR reboot, make sure to come back for next week's vlog, reading vlog, and I will see you then. Bye!